Hey, okay, just to confirm, it looks like someone else is recording then. I will allow you just to give us final confirmation of that because that may make our lives easier, just in case Adam's version does corrupt. Perfect. Okay, I think we're good anyway. Yeah, if Abby's recording for us, that would definitely make things easier. Um, so I guess good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone to everyone that's tuning in. Thank you very much for hopping on in. Kindly, this is going to be a recorded AMA session, so if you do, miss out, you're joining late, or you've got to drop off, you'll be able to catch up and watch the recording later, and we'll share that around the Discord as soon as we have that as well. And I'm really excited because we've got the hedge fund team in this house in the Discord, and today we're going to dive into a bit more about what they're doing and learn a lot more in a lot more detail because I've got a lot of questions to go through. We have an AMA's question channel if you want to send any questions through, but I do already have a big list I've collected from the members over the last week or so. After we did our AMA over in their Discord, we started getting everything prepped. I will let you, kick it off for everyone listening. Is deHedge fund? Because we might have some hydro holders that may not be aware of what you guys are doing. And I think it'd be great just to start off with an overview of what you're doing, how it works, and who's in the team.
Hello. Hope everyone's well. Thanks for having us, Sam.
Oh, is it so? It's a pleasure.
Bare bones, what we are is DeFi as a service. You might have heard a lot of DeFi as a service when the rebase models were around, but they were just spouting a load of rubbish with high APRs and basically getting people to FOMO in. We're the complete opposite. We are a legit DeFi as a service. We do the diversification and we pass the returns back to the holders. So our foundational investments are made up of premium investments like Ethereum validators, miners, gold, real estate, etc., etc. So that creates a base return, and then as the treasury grows, we can increase that APR alongside backing. So all of our strategies have been tested. We've tested through the market dropping plus at the bottom of the market. So what we offer is the bare minimum that we can give back. We're made up of a team of 4. I myself am a trader, been a full-time trader investor for the last 2 years. For the 3 years previous to that, I was part-time along, part-time shifts. I was volunteering. We have our developer who is a head engineer for one of the top fintech companies in the world. We also have somebody who's a project owner for one of the largest L1s. And then we have our COO, who is a real life business owner, runs multiple businesses from real estate to gyms. So yes, that's a little bit about us. Can't wait to get deeper into it and see what you got to ask.
Awesome. I think this is probably one of the first questions I ask for anyone we bring on here is, are the team doxed? Are the team behind you guys? Are you fully doxed, or are you just KYC with firms, or are you publicly doxed?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we've got 2 team members that work either for a very large fintech company or another L1. So they're not fully doxed. They are registered on the LLC. They are known to myself and Mongo, who are fully doxed and publicly doxed. All of my information's out there, from name, address, age. You can find anything you want about me. Same as Mongo, who's Anthony, our COO. So us 2 are fully doxed and KYC'd. The other 2 members are unknown to the public, but known to us and known to the LLC agent who holds onto our LLC.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. Would those other 2 individuals be looking to dox, publicly dox at any point in time, or are they looking to remain kind of undoxed for the time being?
Yeah, so when they move to a more full-time role, they are willing to dox, but as of now, it would jeopardize their jobs. Our dev, for certain, if his company found out that he was running a DeFi project and he was co-founder, he would lose his job instantly. Our CPO, he's in the middle of job transferring. He has said he'll be willing to dox in the near future. So yeah, it's definitely something that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time and where we are at as a company. So at the moment, we will not be taking any team wages, team salaries. It's all being put back into the company. When we hit a time next year, 12 months, 18 months, when we do start taking something for the team and we can subsidize our lives without the need of another job, then yes, it's a lot more attainable then.
Perfect. Okay, that's good to know. So I know you guys. You said you're actually registered over in Wyoming. What made you guys choose to actually set up the operations over there?
To be completely honest, it's legitimacy. Lots of people go and register in companies just so they have that registration, and to a lot of people that maybe don't know all the legal boundaries, etc., to them a registration looks legit and it looks good. And to be fair, in most cases it is. But there's certain countries that a lot of projects choose to register in, where if they were to do something malicious, legally, it's nearly impossible for you to track them, and not just track them, but take them through a court case and try and get money back. We have legal advice to say what we are doing is kosher. We don't break any regulations, and we're not even close to breaking regulations. So if for whatever reason something was to happen, we are all trackable in Wyoming, in the USA, where it is very, very easy for somebody to legally come after us, which we thought was a big, big, big positive, not just for us being legit, but also for investors' confidence. I mean, the worst thing is I've seen it happen not so long ago, where people are registered and they go, right, we're going to get people together, we're going to get a case going, we're going to get our money back. But then it's impossible to track them people down. It's impossible not just to track them down, but to get even a foot in the door of getting a court case going, because the countries that they're registered in don't really care. So that is the bottom line, really.
Awesome. That's very good to know. I'm glad to know. Here you got a lot of thought put into that. So I know with the structure you've got, it is a DAO LLC. And how far along are you guys in the process of becoming kind of a fully operational DAO? Because I do know there is a bit more centralization at the current stage you're at.
Yeah, that's a good question. So our plan has always been phase 3 will transition to a full DAO model. Through phase 1 and 2, it needs to be slightly centralized just so we can get the company in a good enough position so that when the DAO fully takes over, it's a much easier process for them and a much easier transition. Saying that, we've lowered the number of DAO NFTs for direct mint down to 600. There's 50 left. Once them 600 have been minted, we will be moving then to DAO votes. So that will involve the DAO much, much more. And the DAO will basically be 50-50 with the team to push the company forward through the next phases.
Awesome. And when do you think you'll get to that final form where it is a fully fledged DAO? Is that later this year or next year?
Yeah, we should be in phase 3 before this time next year. So it'll be Q1 2024, possibly Q4 2023.
Perfect. Okay, that's good to know. So currently, what's the actual returns that you're looking to offer to the NFT holders?
So the NFT holders don't get an APR quoted. The NFT holders for the DAO NFTs get profit sharing, which is 5%, able to increase as the company gets stronger. And it's the bond stakers that get the minimum 15% APR. So that will come July the 15th when we main launch on Arbitrum. And yeah, we've got some other exciting things coming also, but I'll leave that for now.
Awesome. Would you mind just explaining a little bit about the bonds and I guess your other NFTs just to clarify the differences?
Yeah, so the NFTs that we initially launched, they are what make up the DAO. So any holder of them NFT per NFT carries weight for a voting system. Them NFTs also come with utilities from holidays to luxury resorts, from boosts to the main protocol stake. So that's between 2 and 5%, depending on the rarity you have. They get the profit sharing also. So they hold multiple utilities, but no fixed term staking APR. The bonds are a receipt of a stake. So the main platform is a staking platform. And when you stake your funds, you'll receive an NFT that looks like an old American bond. Don't know if anyone or everyone's seen them, but that's what the NFT looks like. So they will be given a 15% APR. That's the minimum we can return through the worst possible time. So yeah, the bond NFTs don't hold utility. They're just a staking receipt. The pre-sale NFTs, which make up the DAO, they are the utility NFT.
Perfect. Okay, no, that's good to know. Hopefully that can clear up a few things because there might have been a few questions around that, what the actual differences are between the NFTs and those bonds there. So in terms of your actual kind of activity you're doing in terms of investments, what's your current strategy in regards to all the investments you're managing, especially in the current market conditions we're still in? How are you handling all of that?
Yeah, so luckily the way we've positioned ourselves and the method in which we've launched with the DAO NFTs first, the DAO NFTs and other collections that will be coming, they will be making up our foundational investments. So we have everything from miners, validators, we're invested in real estate, gold. They will all provide a stable and base rate return. So because the NFTs that have been sold don't have a fixed return, you could say that's pure backing. Every investment that has been made so far is pure back into the treasury for when bonds start being minted.
Okay. And what ones have you guys done already in terms of investments? I think you've got one with the Alpha Traders Country Club, their property group. I think you guys invested in that. What other ones have you gone for?
Yeah, so as I said, we've got gold investments. We got investments into other partners like the Alchemists. We've got Cadena Miners, Cadena Hashing. We've got multiple investments spread out across our partners, as well as other miners, validators. I don't know if you've heard of Music Gods, but we showed some good faith. We invested into Music Gods. He's a really, really, really good trader. He's kind of a similar concept to us, but purely focused on trading. I have a conversation going with James Pelton at the moment, and the CEO of Warbots. So we're going to be placing some funds into Warbots, and then other things then like trading. I myself am trading. So we've only started with a small amount of funds for trading because we didn't want to allocate a big percentage. So our trading accounts are currently up quite well, and we will keep increasing them. Once we hit a certain number, we'll take the initial out, put that into another investment, and then carry on trading with no liability, basically.
Oh, awesome. That's very good to hear. So what's your current vetting procedure on projects you want to invest into?
Yeah, so I'm how can I put it? I'm a bit anal when it comes to people. I have
Yeah.
to speak to people, not just over the phone. I like to see people face to face. I also get you've obviously heard of your bonks. But before I have anything to do with anyone, I like your bonks to vet them also. He's very, very good at his job. I know he's an influencer, and a lot of influencers have, how can I put it, a little bit of a bad rep because they just do stuff for money. But your bonks is very much pro DeFi, and he wants to be good in the space, and he wants to clean up the space. So the amount of vetting he does on people and
Oh,
projects
definitely.
goes a
I've done a lot with him before. We've had some very long sessions together.
yeah,
In
100%.
depth.
He leaves no stone unturned.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, I'm straight to your bunks. Can you give me a hand? He's got the right methods to be able to find out anything and everything about someone. So yeah, he's my go-to really for vetting. And then my own due diligence. I'll speak to them multiple times face to face. And yeah, just what everyone should be doing about every project, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. I think, I mean, on top of any project we look into get into, even through our community treasure, we still say go do your own research because, there's lots of different things. You might have your own risk appetite. You might be willing to take a bit more of a risk or not as much as a risk, for example. So definitely risk management is a very, very big thing. And just doing your own research in any opportunity you get presented by is very good sense to do. Don't want to jump in with the
100%.
crowds. Even if we see something's trending, there's this big thing trending. We have to spend time diving into this. In the back, behind the scenes, we're looking at it, researching at it, and just working out whether a lot of this stuff is viable or is it going to last long term or anything. So it's definitely worth putting that extra time into actually vetting the opportunities you get involved with 100%.
Yeah, of course, and we completely back that. I mean, people come into our Discord and they'll say to us, "Oh, how much for an NFT? How do I mint?" Currently, we're OTC, so it's a bit easier for us because it gives us a chance to say, "Look, before you invest, have you read up? Do you know who we are? You've just come into the Discord. Um, make sure you read thoroughly about what we are, who we are, watch our AMAs. Don't just put money and then come back later not knowing what the NFT does or not knowing what the bond returns." So yeah, we're definitely pro do your research.
Perfect. Glad to hear that. Just as a quick note, anyone listening in, if you've got any questions, please do post them in the town hall chat, or you can just post them in the AMA questions chat as well. I know I've already grabbed a lot from the last few weeks from all the whale chats and everything, but if you've got any upcoming, do send it through as well. But I've got plenty more to keep going through as well as we dive in a little bit deeper. So one thing, when I was doing research and reading through your white paper, I kind of noticed that you have some form of insurance to protect investor funds. Would you be able to just talk a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah, so that will be coming at main launch. What will happen there is we place a load of funds into an insurance pool. It's through Secured Haven at the moment. What would happen then is anyone that invests can go to Secured Haven website, prove their holdings, and then you can choose to take out insurance for a very small daily fee. So that will cover, depending on what's in the pool and how many people take out the insurance, that will cover up to 100% of investment.
Okay, that's good to know. Do you know what kind of the fees are going to be like yet, or is that something still to be confirmed?
It's off top of my head, I think it's 0.05% a day, if I remember rightly.
What's that per month? Is that 1.5% a month, roughly?
Yes, something like that. It's very small compared to the investment. It's very, very small.
Okay. No, I mean, I guess that would have a bit of a dent in the annual returns itself, though. I mean,
Yeah,
decentralized insurance is definitely something. It's a very tricky topic.
yeah.
Very, very
It
tricky.
is it is very, very tricky. I think where it may come into its own and have a big benefit, so to speak, is the first year people may want to take something just because they're getting used to us. They may not know who we are. After a time period has gone and they realize, oh, actually, they do what they say. They're here. We know them. Maybe then the insurance won't be so needed because, as you know, there's a lot of people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk in the space, and they can be around for 8 weeks, 3 months, and all of a sudden, project's dead, all the money's gone. So in that case, 3 months they'd be covered. So you'd kind of not mind negating the returns because you just want to know that you're not going to invest and then very quickly money's gone. So I think it has its place, but for sure, like you said, you've got to weigh up risk, reward, and options.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's good to know that you guys have some form of that in place, and I can appreciate the difficulty of that within the DeFi space. Believe me, it's hard enough in the decentralized financial space having insurance for assets under your custody and everything like that. That's still very, very difficult. And I'm sure in the DeFi world, it's even more difficult.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not easy, of course. At the end of the day, in the centralized world, it's backed by something. That insurance is backed by something. It doesn't matter if you've had your insurance for a day. If you have an accident, you're going to get paid out. It's not like that in DeFi. It's not backed by anything. It's the protocol that's got to
yeah,
provide them funds to be able to back the insurance. So, of course, we wouldn't be able to back every single investment straight away, 100%. It would be physically impossible. We'd have no funds left to invest. So, what would happen is we'd fill the pool with an amount, and then a percentage of all profits will keep going to that pool until in time everyone would be 100%. There'd be enough in the pool for everybody, but that would take time. That wouldn't be able to be right from the start, if you understand me.
yeah, no, that makes total sense. Definitely understandable. It'll be very, very difficult to be able to ensure every single aspect from day one. But
Yeah,
like you said, there'll be nothing left in the pot to actually invest with.
yeah,
Be
exactly.
essentially pointless there. Now, I know over the last few weeks, I think after we had a session with you guys, there was a bit of talk around your connections with Red Light and the team from Red Light. And I think that's something I'd like to personally dive into a bit to hear from your side of, is there a connection with Red Light and the Red Light team? And if so, what is that connection? Yeah, would you just be able to dive a bit into that for me?
Not a problem, and I'm glad you asked that. So we have zero connection to the actual Red Light team. I've never met them, don't know them. It's purely on a DeFi level, and I've lost more money with Red Light than I care to even talk about. I'm so far into Red Light for my investment that if it wasn't for their gasless benefits, I probably would have just gone goodbye. That's enough for me. Luckily, because of the gasless benefit for our NFTs, we still decided to launch there. Because we've shown support and given them the chance to come to us with proof, evidence, whatever you want to call it, about what they're doing, how they're moving forward. Luckily, we've had the chance to see behind the scenes. So we know that they're going to make things right, or at least they're trying their best to make things right. Yes, I agree with everybody. They messed up big time. Maybe not the whole of the current team, but in the past, there's members of the team there now that were part of the core team, obviously, and they'll even admit themselves they completely messed up. But I can say from what I've seen, and I've seen proof and evidence of where they're going and how they're going to get there, that they will make everybody right. Again, I'll say 99.9%. I'm not going to guarantee nothing. It's DeFi. But yeah, we're not anything to do with them. We partnered with them because I love the tech. I'll be completely honest with you. The tech is second to none. The actual blockchain is the best out there. It's been under attack with attacks that have completely shut down Sol. So Solana under them attacks would be off for a long time. Yet Red Light under the same size attacks has performed like there's not even a transaction going. So the tech for me is up there with anything else. So we had the chance to partner with them because we carried on showing support, and they were obviously appreciative of us still supporting them. Other people had left them and were leaving them. So yeah, they partnered with us, and we were happy to partner with them. But then, as you've seen, people come in, and because we've partnered with them and they've got a bad name, they come in and make out like we are Red Light Team, and we've started deHedge fund for another scam. There's complete, absolute, excuse my language, bullshit. That they're just, I'm not going to call them trolls because they're obviously pissed off. They've obviously lost money through Red Light, and whilst I empathize with them, I'm sympathetic towards them, they are also no better because they try and destroy a project that's only trying to do good in DeFi. We started deHedge because us as a team were rugged together, and we lost north of $500,000 between the four of us. So we wanted to bring something to DeFi to give solid returns, realistic returns, and long term. So it's something that's going to be here for not just the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, but as long as decentralized finance is around, our company is going to be here. So to go around spreading lies is just, I won't argue with people like that. They've got their reasons. But yeah, it's very childish, and there's no need for it, really.
Awesome. Thank you very much for diving into that, because I know we had a few people having some questions around that, and hopefully that's cleared it up. I've still got a big list of questions to keep going through, but anyone, if you've got questions, please feel free to send them through and we can dive into them. I know we do have a kind of a hard cutoff tonight, so we'll make sure we stick to that, but we will keep on cracking through these questions as well, because I've got some very good ones to actually go through. And I think, I guess a very good one to ask is, what's the current cost to entry?
So the current cost to entry for the NFTs is $550 per NFT. If you buy 5 or more, it drops to $450 per NFT if they're bought in one transaction. But there's only, I think there's 51 or 50 remaining from when we came, from when we started this. So they're not going to be around for very long. The bond NFTs will be $100 minimum stake.
Okay. And for those bond NFTs, is there like a cap on the number of them you can have, or is that kind of almost infinitely scalable?
So they're infinitely scalable. It's not a collection. It's just a receipt, as I mentioned earlier. So they could be 2 million bonds. They'll just keep printing.
Perfect. Okay. No, that is very good to know. And those just minting on your website, or did you say, I think, as well, or are those OTC like the NFTs?
No, so we're only OTC at the moment, because Red Light have had their issues, and they're currently going through a small little financial crisis, of which will be sorted very soon. But due to that, their bridge can't be funded for leaving the chain. So we started OTC so that we can get funds off of Red Light, and then our main bond staking will be through Arbitrum anyway. It won't be on Red Light.
Okay. What made you actually choose Arbitrum then instead of Red Light Chain?
So we were always going cross chain. It's always been our plan to be cross chain. One thing we want to do is negate the need for bridging. We don't want users having to bridge funds. One of the biggest losses for people over the last couple of years has been bridge issues, whether it be hacks, user error. There's over $100 million lost through bridging. So that was one thing that was very, very, very high on our priority list. So we were always going to be cross-chain. Reason that we're launching on Arbitrum first rather than Red Light is, as I mentioned, the bridging issue. If somebody mints a bond on Red Light, then the funds are currently stuck on Red Light, so we can't invest. So if we can't invest, then our business model doesn't work, our company can't run, people don't get returns. So that's why we decided to launch Arbitrum first. It would have been Red Light and then branch out from there, but now it's going to be Arbitrum. Within a week or two, we will be on most EVM chains.
Awesome. Very good to know. Did you guys unfortunately have any funds stuck on the Red Light Chain still, or did you manage to get it off in time?
Yeah, so at one point, I think we were at $20,000 or something stuck. Right now, there's 12,000 still stuck, but the Red Light team are going to help us sort that out and get some funds over to us in the next couple of days.
Okay. Is the issue just that purely they just don't have the liquidity their side now? Everyone's kind of pulled out, so no one wants to, I guess, have liquidity either side of the chain for everyone to be able to get in or out? Or
Yeah, so
other
it's purely, I think, because the USDTR that is on Red Light Chain, which is their stable coin, stable version of USDT, they haven't got the backing for that in USDT. So for people to be able to bridge off, there needs to be a pool with USDT in that your funds can be transferred to. So when let's say I transfer USDTR off Red Light Chain into BSC, my USDTR would get burnt and I'd receive USDT the other end. Because they haven't got the USDT to put in that pool, there's nothing for that USDTR to be burnt for. So it's purely a funding issue. The bridge works fine, but there's just no funds. It's not for people pulling out because people still have the option of going the CEX route. I mean, you lose slightly. I think it's 12% or 13%, maybe slightly more at the moment, sending Red Light coin to the CEX to sell. But there is still a route out, and many people actually choose that route.
Okay, no, it's good to know. I'm glad there's still some ways to actually get off that chain rather than being stuck on there during a liquidity crisis, and hopefully we can actually get that resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's
we
going to be
both
causing some.
we both hope.
Yes, I'm sure that's causing some big headaches around the world right now.
I'm not sure there's many people on there with funds at the moment, to be honest. As you said, when the issues happened, especially with the end of their high APR node project, many people just took their funds and left the chain.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's many people that are left on. The rebate that they're paying, it might only be small monthly, but like per person, but the actual monthly amount equates to about $100,000. So that would be the only thing that people are trying to leave with at the moment, I think.
Okay, no, that's good to know as well. So I just had another question. Actually, I've seen I scrolled up a while back from one of the chats and just seen a few more questions about the actual what do you call them? Your bonds. When do they actually get released, or are they already live?
Yeah, so they're not released yet. They released July the 15th. We were going to launch the main protocol July the 30th. No, sorry, June the 30th. But due to the issues that Red Light were having, we give them a little bit extra time. They come forward, said, look, we're not going to be able to make the date. So we had to rewrite some contracts for ARB, and then deploy and test on ARB before actually launching. So we had to just push it back 2 weeks.
Perfect. Well, at least you know Arbitrum should be a much more stable. It's almost, I guess, almost a blessing in disguise that it happened now rather than after you launched, and obviously that could cause some big headaches. So I think it is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, for sure. 100% I'd agree with that. I mean, if this would have come a month or 2 months after we'd launched, if we were on red light, then we'd probably be in a right mess right about now.
Oh, very glad it happened before that. And with the bonds and the actual NFTs, I've seen you guys that you're going to be having kind of an external NFT marketplace. Is this so people can sell their bonds while they're already staked, and if they want to get liquidity back, can they sell them on, or is this just purely for the DAO NFTs?
No, so the bonds will be tradable, just like any other NFT. So whatever is staked, if you own a bond, whatever is staked to that bond becomes the attachment to be able to burn to get them funds. So you can sell that bond on any marketplace that we get listed on. You'll be able to sell, and whoever buys that bond from you, then they become the owner that can release the stake in that bond.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a very good tactic. Because I think a lot of people want to, I know you are locking up liquidity for a while with these bonds, but if obviously there's a way you can actually make them liquid again to a secondary market, definitely makes things a little bit more attractive, I believe, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to give people another avenue to leave if they wanted. We do have an early withdrawal fee, so it kind of gives you the option. If you really need to leave right now, quick, then the early withdrawal fee will come into play. But if you've got the time to put it onto the secondary and let somebody else buy it off you, then you're more than likely going to get a lot closer to your initial staked amount, because they're going to be buying an NFT already that has accrued rewards on it.
Oh, okay. So you potentially almost are you going to have a tool to actually be able to check those rewards? So
Yeah,
if you're, so it's like we have that for the Hydra Whales for the NFTs here. You can see what rewards are unclaimed on NFTs. So you
yeah,
can always snag yourself a little bonus when you buy them.
yeah, correct. That's exactly the same for us. So you'll be able to view the staked amount in the bond and pending rewards.
Awesome. No, that's very good to know. And with the bonds, are you going to have just a single bond, or do you have kind of different types? I know you've got different lengths, but would there be different investment types? Like, is there a low risk, medium risk, high risk, or is there kind of just one single bond with the funds then spread across a range of opportunities?
Yeah, so this was one of the things that we tested out when we were coming up with everything, when we were designing exactly how things would work. This was one of the things that we tested, and this was one of the most things that were talked about. To be honest, we decided to go against that option because if we allow you to mint a bond that's high risk, then that high risk, whatever exposure that has to whatever high risk protocol that we've gone into fails, then your bond will receive nothing because you've only picked to go the high risk route, if you understand that. So we
Yep.
thought it would be better to have one bond for all. We do the diversification. If two of our investments were to fail, then every single bond still sees a return from every other investment that we're in.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. And I'm kind of in agreement there, just to actually be able to help balance out everyone's portfolios and stop people, because a lot of these high risk opportunities do present some very, very lucrative returns. But obviously, for those types, you want to put the smallest amount of your portfolio into them as possible, and ensure they fit with your own risk profile, rather than diving in with every penny you have to your name into those ones that are paying crazy amounts per month. That's 20, 30, 40% a month.
Yeah, exactly the same mindset as what we've got. Our high risk allocations is less than 10% of the whole portfolio. And as I said, the team isn't taking anything for the first 12 months, 18 months, however long it takes for us to build the treasury to a place that we're happy with. One of the main things for us is creating that environment so that people that may not even have come into DeFi before will get to hear about and maybe think, "Ooh, tell you what, that sounds better than what the rest I've been hearing about." Kind of like your ocean money crossover to crypto, kind of getting people to dip their toe in. If we were to offer higher risk, then people would view us just like they view the rest of DeFi. And we don't want to be that. We are very pro adoption, and we want to push for that adoption. So we want to be one of them protocols that offer better than real world investments, but still on the edge of degen, where we don't want to be that degen investment. In 3 years' time, we want to be known as, yep, they've given their returns for the last 3 years. They've always been on time, and the investment grows. So as I said before, like, we start with a 15% APR, but as that treasury grows and the backing can provide it, that 15% APR will increase. So who knows, in 5 years' time, when we've gone through a bull, we've had blue chips stacked in the secondary treasury, they've 10x'd, we may be providing 100%. Who knows? We can't say now, but the potential is there to grow and grow and grow. We won't ever cap the max amount. We will only say that 15% is the base rate.
Okay, no, that's very good to know. If it can offer some very stable returns over the coming futures. I think it's great that you guys are doing bridging to the real world assets as well. Because that's one of my firm beliefs. I do love something tangible, though I have a big love for Web3 space. I think there's so many benefits to it, and ways you can actually bring these real world assets to the crypto and the blockchain by tokenizing a lot of them, which are a lot of what we're doing as well already. So I've got big support on that. Now, I've got a good question actually come up here from Stephen. Do any of your team own a Hydro NFT?
Hydro Whaler NFT. We have moderators, we have admin that own them. I have the dev, I think, owns a Hydro Whaler NFT. I'm not 100% there, so don't quote me on it, but I'm sure he does. There are members of the team that do, but maybe not the core team. Like I said, the dev might, but I'm not 100%.
I think it sounds like the core team may need to check out our secondary market at some point.
We may definitely have to do that.
Stack them up, and definitely, it might be very good. You moved your sale of the bonds from the 30th of June to July, because obviously we have the wave token sale, the pre-sale token going live at the end of this month, so 30th of June. Initially that starts with Hydro holders, but then we will be extending that out to our friends and other communities we work with, and providing a way for their community members to be able to get into that pre-sale after that initial 72-hour period there as well. So I'm sure there may be some interest there if we can arrange something like that, but we're definitely happy to do so ourselves.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of interest in the Wave token. I've already had many people asking me if we can get, as you said, like a friends allocation. So no doubt if that olive branch was given, it would be snatched out of your hand.
Definitely, we can definitely work on that. So I'm sure we can discuss that later tonight and get that wrapped up and finalized as well. So you and your community be all ready for that next week.
There'll be a lot of smiling faces, no doubt, at the moment.
I have to hear it. Awesome. Okay, people, do we have more questions? Keep them coming. I'd love to keep seeing some more. I know I collected a lot from our holders, and I know we've just been kind of bashing through them. I'll keep a look around on Discord to see if any more have coming in. Pac-Man, just a quick question, I guess, for us. How long is the Hydrowell's holder pre-sale going to be for public? So what we are doing with the pre-sale, there is a total of 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks with the pre-sale itself, where that will be going on for 72 hours for Hydrowell holders specifically. Before we then move that, so 72 hours for the Hydrowell holders before we then move that to other community projects as well, including the Hydrowell still, but other communities that we've interacted with and worked with, over the last almost, I guess, 18 months or so, since we've got involved with the crypto space very heavily. And then the pre-sale after that is going to just close after 14 or 15 days, and any non-sold tokens will go back into the treasury before we then open up the public sale. So that way, if we have additional tokens remaining, they can either be, there may be options for us to actually burn them to reduce the overall total supply, or we can actually use them and allocate them to additional budgets for marketing and things like that. If you're interested in a deep dive into Ocean Money, definitely check out our YouTube channel, because I think we've had some very long discussions around that. And I know we've got our actual token partner this week. We're diving into a longer session with right before the token launch too. So definitely lots of info for you to be able to dive in everything. So the actual, just to confirm, the actual public sale won't start until the 14th of July. Whereas the pre-sale for Hydrowell starts on the 30th of June. There's going to be 72 hours where it's exclusive to Hydrowell holders, and then we open it up to other communities that we've done a lot of collaborations with and supported each other. And that'll be over those couple of weeks before then it just closes and we move to a fully public sale. But just a quick note, you will have to KYC for the token sale for all kind of our typical AML processes on that. All right, let me just have a quick check. I think we may have a few more questions. I just need to dig them up. I've lost my chat. I scrolled up somewhere and they disappeared. If there's anything you'd like to share about what you guys have got planned, maybe your roadmap over the next, I guess, 2-3 months, that'd be great as well, because I think then we can start wrapping up around that, just so we know what's going on with you guys, what are your plans, and what's the next stage.
Yeah, no worries. So we have another collection releasing. They are going to be a larger collection. It's a collection of 5,000, but it's going to be a much cheaper entry. One thing we've had as feedback is that during this market and the whole financial state, people want to get involved, but they're kind of priced out getting an NFT. So what we decided to do was close off this mint at 600 and create a game theory type of thing. So our initial NFTs were called Gold Rush Degens. So the next NFT collection is going to be Baby Gold Rush. So it's exactly the same style as the current NFTs, but babies instead of fully grown men. This NFT will be a much cheaper entry. $60 whitelist, $75 public in phase 1, increase into 90 in phase 2. You'll be able to buy 10 babies and upgrade to one of the current ones. So as I said, the current ones are being shut off at 600. and you won't be able to mint them fresh ever again. The only way you'll be able to acquire one is burning 10 Baby Gold Rush to get one of the current ones. So the Baby Gold Rush have the same utilities other than being a DAO. The DAO voting rights are only ever going to be for the current collection. Every other utility is still there, but taken down. So 10 Baby Gold Rush will be equal to just under the financial benefits of the current DAO to incentivize anyone upgrading. So that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. They're being created now. I've put a few teasers in the Discord. People seem to be quite excited about them. We also have another collection coming out, which is a collection of 50. They're going to be completely reserved for partner protocols, treasuries, and things of that sort. And also Max wallet holders will have access to them. These will have utilities such as the profit sharing, but it's going to be 2.5% of company profits that is spread between only 50 NFTs. So they're very, very lucrative. They also have other utilities like affiliate links. So if somebody stakes to a bond through the link in your NFT, you'll receive 5% of that stake paid out monthly. So yeah, multiple utilities. They have the same utilities then as the DAOs, the current NFTs. You'll have access to luxury resorts, family holidays, etc., etc. So yeah, some exciting things coming.
Awesome. Yes, you are very busy with all those different collections launching over the next few months. So I think you're going to have a very exciting summer. And same with us over here at HydroWise and Ocean Money. I think it's going to be a very big summer. I think we are warming up for a good start to next year, I hope, with the way the markets are going. It's just time to build right now, and which is what we're both doing, is building the foundations of everything. We will all be very much rewarded, I believe, once the market conditions become perfect. It's just
100%.
Just a waiting game a little bit of a waiting game, but I think the way we're both building is going to be very, very beneficial to us all.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the people with a realistic mindset that are building through this market will no doubt thrive in a bull run. Now is the time to be doing what we're doing. And luckily, it's not only us that'll benefit, it's everyone that gets involved. So yeah, excited for the next few months, but even more excited for 2024, 2025, 2026. I'm a 5-year plan type of person. So I've got my mind already set on 2027, 2028. And that's always how I envision things. I don't ever plan for next month. It's always, how can we make 2024 better? How can we make 2025 better? So yeah.
I agree on that, baby. We have very long-term plans, like especially for Ocean Money, especially over with the regulatory side of things. That is 5-year plans, at least, of knowing where we're going to be, what countries we're looking at. Believe me, there's some very long-term visions, especially for all of the things we're building from the HydroWise Mining Club. There's an awful lot to come. I think this may be a good place for us to start wrapping that up, because I know you do have to. We've got to keep this a shorter one. But if anyone's got any more questions, we'll give you a couple of more minutes just to post them up here. But I know we've done a kind of a deep dive into everything you're doing, and I will, after this AMA, as soon as I get the recording, I will post it, and I'll also post links to the website, the Medium, Discord, and Twitter for everyone to be able to check out and dive in a bit more as well. Do you guys do like a regular AMA session, like a monthly one or anything that might be worthwhile? Just say if people want to go get more information, they can join those, or is it just best to hop in the Discord and ask away?
Yeah, definitely just hop in the Discord and ask. I have done an AMA session, but many of the people that are in my Discord know as much as me. Now they're all they're all seasoned pros, deHedge pros. But yeah, if anyone would like an AMA done so they can ask me questions themselves personally, then just ask. I'm happy to jump on voice chat with anyone. If anyone wants to DM me or anything, just feel free. And we will be starting regular AMAs once main launch has happened. We'll set aside one day a fortnight where we'll jump on a voice chat and people can ask then whatever they want.
Awesome. That's very
I
good to hear.
just
I've
want
just seen
to
that as well. I
just
think I
want
might
to
know.
say Zeely Quest Mongo 2023. It
A
might not
special
mean it.
code word for something?
Yeah, it might not mean anything to most people, but if you're on the Zeely Quest, you'll know why I've said it.
So there's some rewards. What do you get from your ZD stuff? If people start completing those ones.
So currently, the Zeely Quest is it's $150 for first place. There's 3 NFTs to be randomly given to anyone in the top 10, and then anyone in the top 11 gets a share of $1,000, and the first 25 get one of the new collection each, the baby collection.
I think are you able to repeat the phrase at all? I can see someone was unable to catch it, or do they have to listen to the recording?
Mongo 2023.
There you go. And for your Zeely, is it like a sprint right now, or is it just kind of normal Zeely quests?
Currently, it's a sprint. Once this sprint is over, we'll be launching another. So this sprint ends in 2 days, and then we will set another sprint with some nice juicy prizes up to main launch, July 15th.
Awesome. Now we've got the Ocean Money ZD ongoing at the minute, with the sprints coming to an end over the next few days as well. All wrapping up for at the end of this week with some very nice prizes on that. So best of luck, everyone, getting involved with those seed competitions and those sprints. May the best person win for it, and hopefully someone does gets a nice good prize. I mean, it sounds like you got a good range in there anyway, so I'm sure we may be able to, if you let me know when the next sprint is, I'm happy to share that around, see if people want to get involved with that as well, and take advantage of that.
Yeah, perfect. I'll let you know, and people can get active and see if they can get some juicy prizes.
Awesome. Oh, great. I think this is a perfect place for it to end. I can't see any more questions coming up right now. And obviously we've got this recording. So once we get this sent over to me, I'll post it for everyone else tuning in. I know we'll have a lot from the States tuning in later this evening when they're back from the daily grind of fiat minding. That will be tuning into this with a glass of wine or something when they get home.
Yeah. So
definitely.
Thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure. And I look forward to the Twitter space that we can get going.
Definitely. I think we're going to be doing trying to arrange a very big Twitter space, maybe a little bit of a mega space coming on. So we're working on getting one of those set up over the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But thank you very much for coming on, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And we look forward to hearing a lot more updates from you guys as well, and we'll be watching very closely.
Thank you very much, Sam. If anyone's got any question that hasn't been asked or answered, just jump into the Discord and ask away, or DM me if you have to.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Actually, before you go, I think you need to say that password one more time. One more time for luck.
Mongo 2023.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we look forward to hearing or having you join us again very, very soon.
Thank you very much, mate.